All right, welcome to this week's tutorial in the National Parks Watercoloring Book. I am so excited. We are going to be doing the Indiana Dunes tutorial. If you want to see what is in this book, go to our playlist and you'll see all the videos that go with the outlines, but I'm so excited. We have my brush set that I'll be using, the size 12 round tip brush. I have a paper towel, 1 jar of water, and you can get all of this on our website. You can buy it in a bundle or you can buy it separately. But yeah, I'm so excited, so let's get going. So I think what we're gonna do first is fill in the sky because it is a very loose, I want it to be a bright, slightly cloudy day. So I'm grabbing this blue, the third up on the right, and I'm gonna mix it with this. Okay, and I'm grabbing quite a bit of water and just dropping it in that mixing tray so that we have that diluted blue to work with. So I do want, like I said, a little bit of clouds. So what we're gonna do is start with a darker blue and have it be like a little bit of a gradient down, leaving random space for clouds. And a way that we can do that actually is by filling the whole space with water to begin with. So we're gonna do that. It's okay if you go into the tree line a little bit. You don't have to be perfect because this color is going to be a little bit lighter than the greens that we'll use in the tree. So we'll just go right over it. You want to move pretty quickly because we want to be able to drop that color in while the whole area is still wet. And if we need to work in sections, we totally can. So maybe let's do this top section first, and then we'll move into down here when we're ready. So I'm grabbing the blue that we made, dropping it in right up here. You don't want it to be puddly, but it does blend pretty good. So I'm bringing the color down this direction, leaving a little bit of like white area here to resemble a cloud. And then maybe bringing some blue down. If you see that you're puddling, you can lift up that water and just dab it onto your paper towel. Bringing blue up into the tree. I do want it a little bit more vibrant, so I'm gonna add more of this blue into the water. All right, coming through here a little bit with the blue. And it is puddling, so I'm pulling some of that off. And I'm just gonna grab that same blue and drop it over here. Nice. So now let's move down, and I'm just gonna grab that blue straight from the thing and get these little areas. And then you can grab water. This is where you can kind of drag the color across. And maybe some down here. And now we'll use our brush again to kind of drag it across and use less of that blue for this bottom area close to the horizon line. So that's really pretty and loose. There are some areas over here that are part of the sky, so I'm just filling it in. There we go. Okay, so if you're wanting more blue towards the top sky, I'm gonna use this second blue and just drop it in to that deep part of the sky. I'm gonna make it come down into here. There's some like deep blues that you can see like towards the middle of the sky. Okay, there we go. I think that's good. If you want a little bit more blue here. And we're gonna pause there. And I do love, something that I think is so pretty about watercolor is how it just blends into the paper and creates those really cool, like veiny looking textures. So we're gonna let that dry and work on down here. And this is a very sandy area. If you've been to the Indiana Dunes, let me know in the comments how you like it. I have never been there and I really want to. So one day I'm gonna take my book and I'm gonna sit there by the water and paint, but we're gonna make like a sandy color. So I'm using this skin color that we have, that's the third up. And this can be our base layer. And we're just gonna do a flat color, a flat wash, nothing too crazy. You're gonna fill in this whole section and then we can come in and layer it. Leaving these bushes alone. So while this is still a little bit wet, it could be drying by now, but we're gonna grab the skin color and mix it in with a little bit of brown. And purple. We want it to be more of like a neutral. Trying to neutralize that pink. And the reason that you do that is when you use on the color wheel, the opposite side of the color wheel, it helps neutralize that color. So now we have a really pretty, more neutral, sandy shade. And we can come in and drop it into this section that is supposed to be a little bit more shaded. Leaving that base layer having some areas, and if you forget to do that, you can just pick it up like this with your paper towel and that will add a fun texture as well. Or if you even want to just do that, we want to fill in the whole thing. Like this, and then come through and just dab. We have a similar shade here. Okay, and I do want to add a little bit of purple into here. And this is where I am gonna just do some dabs on the paper. Coming through here and by the tree. There we go. And there is like a shadow area right under where the tree is gonna go, or the bushes. And I do want to add a little bit of yellow, a very diluted sandy yellow into here, up here a little. Awesome. So now we can do, oh, I forgot this little blue spot. Okay, so I think we're gonna do the, is this the ocean? It looks like the ocean. And mine's gonna be really deep blue. I'm using the second one. So it's not gonna be super diluted at the horizon line. I'm adding a little bit of this top green to it. Okay. Tip of my brush. Okay, you wanna use horizontal strokes when you can. Like this. I understand, like you just saw, when I am like going to get that crisp line of the tree, going around things, but for the most part, I am using a horizontal motion. And when we start getting closer to the beach, we are going to dilute it down a little bit. So grabbing a clean brush and dragging that in. And we can come back in and add the darker colors. I'm gonna add a little bit more green to like here. Okay, and then it's coming in and kind of blending a little with the sand, just like that. Okay, I think that's a really great place to start, and then we can go into it and add more colors shortly. This top color is a really great turquoise, so if you're wanting to add turquoise into the mix, like a more deep version, it's really pretty. There we go. I just added some contrast so that it has the more deep blues, and then as you get closer to the sand, you'll have your turquoise lighter colors. And now we can start mixing our greens. Sorry, I don't know if you can tell, it slowly moves this direction because for whatever, even when I'm writing, I like to write slightly sideways. Maybe you're the same way, let me know. But that doesn't help videos. But it's already looking so cute. Let's get going. 3 different colors of green, or shades. So we have our light, vibrant green that I actually don't want this green. I want to be a little bit more muted, so I'm grabbing some white and a tiny, tiny bit of purple And you see how that just neutralized it even a little bit? I like that color. Then we're gonna have the third from the top, right here in the corner. I'm really grabbing that. This helps if you have a spray bottle to spray your paints first, so you don't have to sit and scrub it for so long. But I did not do that, obviously. Grabbing some purple. There we go, neutralize that as well. And I think we will just grab straight from, or let's see what this one is. Grabbing this yellow over here. There we go. There's our 3 colors. So this is fun because the tree is far enough away that you don't need super intense detail. We're gonna do our base, and then if you wanna add a little bit of like detail in the leaves, you totally can. But what we're doing first is you're gonna grab your brush and you're just doing some really pretty dabs. Similar, almost exactly to what we did here. Just like this, and you can leave some white space. And what's fun too is when you have this, then you can come in and grab your second color and drop it in while it's wet. Get some pretty textures in there. I love how this is taking shape. And you're gonna do that for all of these sections. And we'll meet back up when you're done. There we go. How beautiful. So now these bushes here have a very similar approach because it's like taking this and put it down here. But I do want to add a little bit more of like a muted rather than these vibrant colors. Maybe add a little bit of blue. Okay, let's see how that goes. Same thing, doing the dabbing. Awesome, and then it is gonna be a little bit darker. This back bush is. They can blend a little bit, so I'm not worried about this one drying. But this is what we have. And if you want to drop in like a pop of color from up here, you can totally do that. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so really all that's left now is to do the tree trunk. So let's grab this brown, and we can just put it in the place of where the sand is. If it's still pretty liquidy, just lift it up with your paper towel and we can put our brown there. Okay, as you can see, I'm having the brown, but I'm mixing this dark blue in there for our tree trunk. And the corner, I am gonna add some skin color, and this side will be our base color and this will be our dark. So we'll start. And you're just doing a flat color right now. If it's easier to flip your page upside down for this bottom part, because I know that this is still wet, and if you touch it with your wrist, it could blend the way you don't want it to. So I'm just flipping my page upside down, using the very tip of my brush for those tiny sections. So now that we have all of that, I am gonna grab this darker shade. I do want it to be brown, but I don't mind that it's like more on the purple side. Adding a little bit of black because I want it to be a good amount darker than what I have. And I'm coming up and just doing the shaded side. Oh my gosh. Coming around here. Okay, so while this is like this, we're gonna rinse our brush off and use the tip of our brush and just kind of go over that and let it blend into the tree. See how that's making a really pretty gradient? And we'll do the rest up here. As we get higher, it gets more dark, or like the entirety of the tree has more dark areas. I think that looks awesome. And then come in here to these small guys. Okay, and then you're gonna do the same thing here. If you need to mix more colors, you can do that. See how these are all really strict lines right now? There's not a whole lot of blending happening. We'll come in right now. So clean your brush off, dab the water off, use tip of your brush, just right along where that color starts, and let the water blend it over. Awesome. If you want more of this dark color over here, we can add it into this tree. Okay. All right, I think we're done. This looks so cute. I hope you love yours. And if you're proud of yourself, let me know. I wanna see. Send me a message on Instagram or send me an email. All the things. I want to support you. So yeah, thanks again and have the best day.